A miracle medicine that will make you lose weight within days. A sweeping and false exaggeration of side effects of tried and tested treatments such as cholesterol lowering drugs or vaccines. The dramatic power of natural remedies for an assortment of illnesses. Sensational and amplified claims of how commonly used technologies such as microwaves and cell phones may pose health hazards from radiation, and the list goes on. How many times have you seen such information flash across your computer or cell phone screen, or pushed to you by way of text messages and email? Worse still, how many times have you had the irresistible urge to forward such a message? The spread of misleading information, now commonly referred to as fake news, has mushroomed alarmingly in recent years, particularly during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. Sadly, it has numerous negative health consequences. It is now estimated that higher immunization rates could have prevented nearly half of COVID-related deaths in the United States between January 1st, 2021 and April 30th, 2022. Sadly, I have personally seen numerous patients who have sometimes stopped well-established medical remedies after reading a misinforming article in favor of starting those that have virtually no proof of benefit, sometimes with major negative health consequences. So let's look at fake news. At its core, fake news includes those news stories that are false, often fabricated with no verifiable facts, sources, or quotes. It distinctly fits into two types. Misinformation is false information that is mistakenly or inadvertently spread, while disinformation is false information that is intentionally spread with an intent to influence public opinion or obscure the truth. So why do we see so much of fake news today? Well, first, it is sensational and appeals to emotion. Secondly, social media algorithms incentivize people to share content and get likes and comments. This inherently rewards engagement rather than rewarding the accuracy of the information. In fact, one study showed that false news stories are 70% more likely to be shared than true stories. Thirdly, social media algorithms, and these have come under a lot of scrutiny of late, are designed so users see content that is more popular rather than more accurate first. Of note, a surprisingly small number of people can dominate a social media conversation. So think about this. According to a 2021 analysis, only 12 accounts known as the Disinformation Dozen were responsible for 65% of anti-vaccine information on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. On a positive note, however, as these issues have come to public attention, trusted community leaders have begun to step up to debunk myths and misinformation. Also, some technology platforms have begun to improve efforts to monitor and address misinformation. So with the knowledge that fake news is rampant, what can you do to pick best available, evidence-based scientific information to guide your health decisions? I suggest the PAM mnemonic. Pause, that's the P. Do not press the forward button. Analyze, that's the A. Assume that the information is not true and analyze it. We'll talk more about this in just a second. And thirdly, make it your own by synthesizing related information and also synchronizing with your own beliefs and preferences. Pausing allows you time to reflect on sources that play with your emotions. Michael Arthur Caulfield in Web Literacy for Student Fact Checkers offers very valuable advice in this regard, and I quote, "When you feel strong emotion, happiness, anger, pride, vindication, and that emotion pushes you to share a, quote, fact with others, stop. After all, it's these things that you must fact check. Why? Because you're already likely to check things you know are important and to get them right. But things that make you angry or overjoyed, well, our record as humans are not as good with these things." In this regard, it is good to ask yourself the following questions. Is this information too good to be true? Is it inconsistent with what you know? Does it seem dramatic or overblown? And where is the evidence? When analyzing evidence, consider the following. 1. Check the source. It is easy to check if the author has published evidence elsewhere on a reliable platform by simply searching online. Is there corroborating evidence elsewhere online? Does the person have credible credentials in the area they are opining about? If it is a website, what kind of a URL address does it have? Sites with a .org, that stands for organization, or .gov, that stands for government, or .edu, that stands for an educational institution, such URL sites are more likely to be credible. Second, look for a hidden or apparent motive to mislead. Is the source trying to sell a remedy or a technique? Will a certain point of view lead to a personal benefit to them? Third, develop a habit of using authoritative sources of medical information such as WebMD, Mayo Clinic, or the National Library of Medicine. So in summary, with an exposure to an overwhelmingly large amount of information that is disproportionately false rather than true, it is critical that we learn the tools to identify and consume the highest quality evidence-based medical information possible. In matters of health, nothing short of this is acceptable.